Hello, Maddie. Hey, y'all. So, for those of you who don't know me, which I assume is most of you, my name is Emily Dela Cruz, and I'm a digital marketing strategist and a personal branding mentor. So, I help you communicate your credibility. Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Hello there. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for inviting your followers. Thank you. So, yes, so as a personal branding strategist, I help you communicate your credibility. And what that means is I help you use your personal brand, your digital identity, and especially your social media channels so that you can become more profitable online. So, whether you want to work with brands or whether you want to just up your game for your blog or your business, I help you figure out the best way to turn your followers into customers. Right. So I'm very, very excited to share with you guys 3 ways to grow your Twitter community, because what I found is that Twitter is really the tool that helps me grow my blog traffic the most, as well as helps to drive my sales the most. While I love Instagram and I think it's definitely a very valuable tool, I don't think that it's the best necessarily for driving traffic and doing other things that we want to do as bloggers, just because of the limitations around being able to, share links. So if you have Instagram, mostly as your number one channel, let me know. If you have Instagram and that's like your number one go-to social media channel, please press 1. So if Instagram is like your go-to, your baby, that's the thing that you love and you love to do, press 1. If you use any other social media channels, so, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, YouTube, any other thing like that, press 2. So 1, if you're an Instagram addict, and 2, if you use other channels, just so I can see like who's in here. Okay. Yes, I love Spoiled Latina. Yes, for sure. Texas, from Texas, right? Yeah, she's one of my faves. I follow her as well. Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to jump right in. So if you haven't shared with your followers, definitely please do. I'm going to be sharing the 3 tips so that you can grow your Twitter community and also just be a little bit more engaging online, right? So the first thing is you have to share more. The complaint I always hear is, I don't know what to say on Twitter. I don't know what to tweet. It's so weird. But in reality, right, like we figured Instagram out, right? You know what to put as a caption for your Instagram photos. So why not take that same personality and bring it to Twitter? But a lot of times people only want to tweet, 1 or 2 times a day, or they're just like, a little bit unsure of what to say or what to say that's going to make sense with their audience. But the most important thing is to understand that you have to share more, because research shows that the people who tweet more have more followers. Why? Because more people are going to see your tweets and more people are going to be able to engage with you. If you only tweet once a day or, a couple of times during the week, you're not going to be able to grow your following because you're not going to be in front of their eyes as much. The same thing with your blog, right? If you blog multiple times a week versus if you blog once a month, you're going to see a difference in your traffic because you're not giving people consistent new content. So you want to tweet more, right? The average lifespan of a tweet is, guess how many minutes? It's not even an hour. Guess how many minutes the lifespan of a tweet is. A lifespan of a tweet is basically how long, a person might see it on their timeline. And it depends upon how many people they're following. It depends how many people they have, in their feed tweeting when they're scrolling through. Okay, 18 minutes, 11 minutes. Sherelle, you cheated because you've been on my scopes before and I've told you guys. But yes, the average lifespan of a tweet is 18 minutes. It could be obviously longer if the person follows less people, and it can be way shorter if you follow, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people, right? So the Twitter feed is going to go very, very quickly. So you need to maximize on the lifespan of your tweet and not be afraid to share more, because not everyone's going to see it. So that whole idea of, oh, I don't want to, annoy my followers sending out my same blog post 10 times, or, oh, I don't want to tweet too much. I don't think that there's really such thing as tweeting too much, because your audience isn't always going to be on Twitter to see your tweets, right? And if they don't catch it within that 18 to 20-minute span, they might never see it unless they go onto your actual profile. So don't be afraid to continue to share more. One thing that I like to go by is I reshare my blog post 5 different ways. So depending on the type of blog, whether it's a style post, whether it's a lifestyle, whether it's a personal branding or business post, I reshare it 5 ways. So I take the title and I remix it 5 different times so that I can reshare it on my Twitter and my other channels very, very often. So the 5 ways that I do it is, first, I take the title and I turn it into a question. The second way that I do it is I will tag someone. So if I mention someone in the post, or I mention a product that I'm using, or I use somebody as an example, I'll include them in the promotional tweet. I'll also go ahead and use like a fill in the blank. So instead of saying, the 3 ways to build community on Twitter, I'll say the 3 ways to build blank on Twitter, to kind of like get that suspense going. And the next thing I'll do is I'll just take just a quote or a statistic from the actual blog post and use that to promote. And then the last thing is I'll switch it around. So instead of saying, 3 ways to grow your community on Twitter, I'll say, grow your community on Twitter, here are your 3 ways. Oh, hi, Dominique. Yes, I know. I've been sick. So those of you guys who have been on my scope before, I've been MIA because I had a sprained ankle, but I'm back in action. I'm actually in Atlanta. So I'm glad to be joining you guys. So thanks for joining me, Dominique. Yeah. So definitely those 5 ways. Sharing the same title of your blog post, or even your product or service, or if you're going to an event, sharing it different ways so that you continue to catch people's attention. Because maybe that person wasn't attracted to your original blog post title, but maybe they're going to be attracted to it when you pose it as a question. So considering different ways where you can reshare is very, very, very important. And the tool that I love to use is called CoSchedule, C-O Schedule, and that integrates with WordPress, and it allows you to easily and very seamlessly post all of these different tweets and Facebook and LinkedIn posts onto your sites. So unfortunately, it does not support Instagram or Pinterest, which are the 2 game changers, right? But it supports those other ones, and it's definitely been a lifesaver and saving me time and energy when I want to reshare my post. And not only do I share it out 5 different ways, I also vary the schedule. So I share when I publish, on the day that I publish, at the same time that I publish, a couple of hours later. So usually I'll publish at 8 a.m. and then I'll post again around 3 p.m. Then I'll post it again the next day in the middle of the day. And then I'll post it 5 days after, 7 days after, and a month after. And again, you might be like, okay, that's overkill. Nobody's trying to hear about your blog post that much, Emily. But again, it's all about understanding the lifespan of a tweet. I have blog posts that I wrote 2 months ago, 3 months ago that are still very, very high in traffic because I continue to reshare it. 1, for the new people who have started following me, who may not have seen it the first time that I posted it. And 2, people who just weren't online the first time that I posted it. So I use those 5 different title changes plus that posting schedule to continue to reshare my posts. I even pull up old seasonal posts. Yes, absolutely. So if you do, for example, I did a post around what not to post around Halloween time because, we want to be cute with our costumes. Most of us half naked, and a lot of times that may not be appropriate. So I wrote a blog post about that actually like 3 years ago. And now, the traffic is picking up because it's a seasonal post and people are starting to search for that. So if you do have any seasonal posts, anything, for example, if you're a lifestyle blogger, why, thank you. If you're a lifestyle blogger and you posted, recipes around pumpkin, or, if you love to shop and you posted something around shopping for the holidays, even if it's an old post, you can definitely bring it on back and back into your sharing rotation because it's going to be relevant. Same thing if you write, something based on like a holiday or Mother's Day or, New Year, setting goals for the new year. If it's relevant to your readers in that particular moment in time, it doesn't matter when you wrote it. Need to give Twitter a lot of TLC. You do. But it's one of those things that once you learn to kind of automate it, it becomes kind of second nature. Yes, I jump on Twitter, and I'll share, like I was going off with the whole Drake fiasco because you saw he was dancing some merengue in his Hotline Bling video. Okay, he is Dominican. I do not care what anybody says. We supposedly are under the impression that his mom is Jewish and that his dad is black. I think he's Dominican. He's definitely from La Vega because he has the salsa and the merengue on lock. But that's my own personal experience. So, I'll tweet about things like that. But that takes, just a couple of minutes out of my day, just something that I'm thinking about. But in terms of all of my other kind of promotional things, sharing my blog post, sharing my book, whatever I've been working on, that has already been scheduled in advance. So I don't even have to worry about it. It literally takes about an hour maybe to schedule all my tweets for the week. Drake. Yeah, Drake is my boo. I'm a Drakeologist. I mean, I'm an expert at Drake. If anyone knows me, you guys know that. Beyonce and Drake, those are my corazones. So sharing more, right? I hope I've convinced you to at least hop on Twitter and share a little bit more and giving you some ways how, right? Then the next thing is laptop TV show at night and schedule. Yes. Yeah, Drake is seriously like everyone's sweetheart. Everyone loves him. And yeah, it's true. If you're watching, Scandal or Empire, or if you're like me and you're watching the Celia novela, you can jump on while you're watching TV, just crank out all your tweets and keep it moving. The next thing is, hello, Celia. It's so good, okay? So good. The next thing is creating community with hashtags. So yes, we all know how to use hashtags for Instagram, but sometimes we forget how to use them for Twitter. So one thing that I love to do is if you have a big community on, let's say, Periscope, invite your viewers to join you on Twitter for an after party, right? Especially replay viewers. Replay viewers cannot comment on the live stream. So I always like to encourage my replay viewers to go ahead and leave me some comments or ask me questions on my Twitter using my Muse Mastermind hashtag, right? For us, if you have any questions after this scope, you can definitely jump on Twitter and share them using the Latina Scopes hashtag. So always inviting your viewers and using call to action to drive them to Twitter. Because the same way that you're like, I don't really know what to do on Twitter, it might be a little bit weird, it might also be the case for your followers. So you want to always be very, very direct and give them opportunities to engage with you over on Twitter. So for example, Periscope, invite them to ask you questions over there or join you after a broadcast if they want to keep chatting. It's a great way to kind of organically grow your community that way, right? Because they just engage with you live and now they can keep engaging with you whenever they want on Twitter. The next thing is sending people from your blog. Make your hashtags relevant. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Hashtags are humongous on Periscope and Instagram, Twitter as well. So always using the most relevant hashtags is important. I like to always research the hashtags that are trending. So I'll look to see on Twitter what's popular, and sometimes I'll create content based off of that. And I'll talk about that in the next point. But in terms of creating community, you want to use the click to tweet plugin. Make me crazy. Yes, 100 million hashtags. It's crazy, but I'm actually a marketing manager, right, by trade, if you will. And my company did a study, and they found that Instagram posts with 11 hashtags perform and get more engagement, up to 500% more engagement than posts who have no hashtags. Now, obviously, this is not the same across the board. It's not the same for everyone, but it's been found that more hashtags equals more engagement because more people can follow you, but it can definitely look very, very spammy. So you want to find a balance between how many hashtags you use, what kinds of pictures you use it on, and just making sure that the hashtags are relevant, obviously. So for me, I always like to, have one hashtag. So obviously for my brand, it's the Branding Muse. And for my Periscopes, it's Muse Masterminds. And I always send that on Twitter. Hashtags on original posts or adding as a comment. What's better? So it really depends. I don't have a preference. I like to just include it in the actual post because I'm just lazy and I don't want to go back and add it as a comment. And especially now that Instagram just upgraded and it shortens your caption. So now you've probably noticed you have to hit the little see more to see the whole caption. It might, not even matter or might not turn people off as much if they have to press see more. It's not going to be the first thing that they see. A lot of times, sometimes, like I said, I'll take a look and I'll see what's trending on Twitter, and I might send out an older post that I've already written with the new trending hashtag, for example. So for Hispanic Heritage Month, any Latinas that I featured on my site, any post that I wrote relevant to, Hispanics, I reshared it using the hashtag because I knew the hashtag was popular at that time and it was trending during those days. So looking at Twitter and seeing what are the trending hashtags, right? If everyone's talking about Meek Mill, for example, right? How can you possibly incorporate that? If everyone's talking about the new Celia novela, right? Because it just came out. How can you possibly incorporate that? How can I write a blog post or even share a couple of tweets around, 5 things that we all can learn from Celia Cruz? Right? And it could be anything. It's all about creating content on the fly, but creating content that's very, very relevant. So I like to use the Click to Tweet plugin. And that plugin is available again for WordPress. So I'm so sorry if you use Blogger, but it is 2015. Get on WordPress already. Seriously, WordPress is the truth, the light, and the way. So Click to Tweet is a plugin that I like to use. And sometimes, I will put in a quote from something that I've written within the blog post. But again, those 5 different titles that I came up with for one blog post to promote, then I'll go and include those in throughout so that people can share. Hey, Rita. Hello, hello. So not forgetting to drive people to your Twitter from your blog post. Loves Click to Tweet. Hello, yes, seriously, click to Tweet is it. It's so funny because I'm just going about my day and literally I'll get 5 tweets throughout the day from just random click to tweets that are within my blog post. It makes it easy because people want to share your content, but come on, people are lazy, people are busy, so it's very easy for them to just press a button and then hit send instead of them having to physically type out the tweet for you. So by using Click to Tweet, you can encourage sharing, and I also encourage people to leave me comments. So I'll leave, a leave in the blank kind of section, or, I encourage people, hey, come on over to Twitter and tell me, what kind of style posts you want to see. And I'll craft a tweet for them, put them in the little Click to Tweet box, and then I'll send them on over, and I'll make sure that it includes either my handle or the hashtag so that I can find them and engage with them. And what that helps do too is when they ask you a question or when they share your blog post and your handle and hashtag is included, it makes it easier for you to grow your audience that way because more people are going to see your handle, right? Or they're going to see your hashtag, so they're more likely to engage. People cannot follow you if they cannot find you. Point blank, period. If you take anything from this scope, it's that. If people cannot find you, they cannot follow you. So you need to give them the most opportunities, okay? Exposure creates excitement, right? When you're on here and you see people leaving me comments, or if you're on Twitter and you see someone say, so excited to join Emily for the Latina Scopes, you're also going to get excited as well from that exposure. So you want to put yourself in front of as many eyes as possible, as often as possible. So resharing is one way, using CoSchedule or just manually, sharing out your posts and your content. Click to Tweet is another one. Always, driving your community to Twitter from your other platforms, because a lot of times we assume just because someone follows us on Instagram doesn't mean that they're going to automatically become our followers on Twitter. We need to make them aware that we're on there and make them aware of the kinds of content that we're sharing. Yes? And then the next thing is creating a schedule. And this is a part that a lot of people ignore, and that's why becoming successful on Twitter becomes hard, right? People are like, how do you have, almost 5,000, Twitter followers? And it's I just tweet all the time, right? I tweet every day, and I tweet very, very, very strategically, okay? So the first thing to understand is create a schedule, not necessarily so much like you would for your blog, but more so around the kinds of conversations that you want to have on particular days. So for example, I know that on Monday, I'm always going to talk about, kind of like the week. So it's kind of like my motivational Monday. I'll share a quote. I'll share, something that I might have learned throughout the weekend. Just a general, genuine piece of Emily that most people are not going to see because I'm bombarding them with blog posts all week, right? So I'll give them a little bit of that. I know I have a whole schedule of Twitter chats, so I try to participate in at least one Twitter chat a week. So I just research, the top marketing Twitter chats, top blogging Twitter chats, and I go ahead and I put that as a recurring thing on my calendars. So if I am, free during one of the Twitter chats, I will definitely jump on in there. And my goal is always, always to participate in at least one. I participated in a Black Enterprise Twitter chat maybe 3 years ago, and just from that one chat, I got 150 new followers in an hour. And ever since then, I've been sold on the idea of Twitter chats. But a lot of times, as bloggers, we're so obsessed with hosting Twitter chats that we don't even participate in them. And you cannot host something that you don't know how it works in the first place. So if you want to, host Twitter parties and grow your communities, you need to be an active participant, because that's how people are going to find you. Again, you need to be in front of a lot of eyes. You need to let people find you in order for them to follow you. Right. So definitely setting a goal of having at least one Twitter chat per week that you can participate in. And it doesn't have to be specifically in your niche, right? Just because you're a lifestyle blogger doesn't mean you have to find a lifestyle chat. Just because you're a Latina doesn't mean you have to go to a Latina Twitter chat. You can find other chats where there are women who would fit into your community, right? So I know, yes, I talk a lot to bloggers. Why, thank you. I talk a lot to bloggers and entrepreneurs, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go into, a Twitter chat that's geared towards college students, because who knows, those women that are going to be graduating from college, they might end up being bloggers. They might end up being business owners, and I want them to be aware of my brand, right? Same thing with Black Enterprise. Black Enterprise, obviously, it's a magazine created mostly for Black business owners, but just because I'm not Black doesn't mean that I'm not going to participate in Black Enterprise, right? Especially when I know that the community is exactly the people who I'm trying to target. So definitely broadening your horizons and using Twitter chats to, one, find where your audience is and then engage with them. But the most important thing is to speak in sound bites. And I'll say that one more time. Speak in sound bites. Whenever I tweet, I'm always like, will someone retweet this? Right? Can this be created into a quote graphic that I can share on Instagram? Right? You always want to sound like you are the quotes daily. Right? You always want to sound like you are speaking so that people can share it. You don't want to just state something just to say it. I always try to make it short, make it concise, but make sure that it has a punch to it. All right, so today, was it today or yesterday? I scheduled this, so I don't know. But either today or yesterday, I tweeted out, don't put a question mark where God put a period, right? Short and sweet, to the point. You're like, yes, retweet, right? But if I was to put something like, don't doubt yourself today, because, tomorrow's going to be a better day and God's going to look out for you. It's like, nah, okay, like I don't really want to retweet that, right? But don't put a question mark where God put a period. It's like, yes, like that's something that I want to share. That's something that I could see, as an Instagram graphic. That's something, that I can see as like a Pinterest pin. So thinking about your content as not only a way to promote yourself, but it's also as a way for others to promote you. Give people things that they're going to want to share, right? Give people things that resonates with them. You ever seen those very, very popular accounts, that all they literally do is like compile vines or compile, a whole bunch of random things? It's because they give people things that they want to share. Where can I see Twitter chat parties in order to participate? So what I like to do, I usually will just Google. I usually just Google Twitter chats and like the title. And there are a couple of different websites that compile Twitter chats. But just off the top of my head, if you want to participate, let's say in side hustle, like if you have a full-time job and you work on your blog or anything else on the side, Secrets of a Side Hustle is one. Black Creatives is another one, another Twitter chat. There is Black Enterprise does theirs on Fridays at 1, I want to say. Latina Bloggers Connect has one as well, yes. So there are tons that already exist. So you want to follow the accounts, that are publications, that are, bigger blogs that they're probably participating in or hosting, and then you can jump on there. But yeah, a simple Google search, and there's tons. Like I know for social media, there's 6 of them that I follow that happen throughout the week, and I'm happy to share those on Twitter. So hop over to my Twitter, and I can share some specific ones with you. And then the last thing is, so you're going to have a schedule, right? So let's say Mondays you're motivational, Tuesdays you're going to do this, Wednesday, you're going to tweet about Empire. Thursdays, you're going to live tweet, about Scandal. And Fridays, you're going to talk about, I don't know, a recipe or music or whatever it is, right? So think about the things that are already popular and exciting online. Yes, like everyone loves Scandal. I am all the way behind, so no one ruin it for me. But think about what are the things that are already popular and happening. What are the conversations that I can join into? Because it's not always about creating a conversation as much as it is about joining a conversation that already exists. So if you know that a lot of people who are just like you watch a particular show, why not jump on, that Twitter hashtag? I used to tweet a lot during Nuestra Belleza Latina. I love that contest. So I would tweet a lot during that using the hashtags, sharing my sound bites, sharing my opinions, and then finding other people who are just like me, and of course increasing my following. So it's all about engaging in the conversations that already exist online and less about trying to create something new, right? Twitter is not a place for you to reinvent the wheel. It's a place for you to connect and engage with people. So share your content and find the communities that are most relevant to you and jump into those conversations and build relationships, because it's pointless to have a bunch of Twitter followers that are unengaged, that you have no relationships with. But that is a story for another day and another scope, honey, because I could be here forever talking about how people have 10,000 followers on Instagram and they get 3 likes. But that's neither here nor there. And I know Anna's going to kick me off soon, so let me get to the last point. And then the last thing is thinking about, what are my themes? So what are you going to work with every single month? So for example, it's October. So maybe this month you want to tweet about Halloween. Maybe November you're going to tweet about being thankful. Maybe in December you're going to do, 12 days of Christmas or the holiday gift guide or whatever. So the same way that you create content ideas for your blog or your website or your other channels, you need to be just as intentional with Twitter. Yes, exactly. Don't recreate the wheel, just jump on the wheel. Absolutely. So think about, obviously the year is going to end. So thinking about into 2016, what are the things that I want to do differently? What are the things that are coming up, right? So we know awards show season happens. So if you're a fashion blogger, maybe that's something you want to focus on, focusing on just the award shows that are coming up. If you're a big music person, thinking about, okay, what are the music festivals that are coming up that are going to be relevant, right? If you are a mommy blogger, okay, well, back to school just passed. Then, spring break is going to come. Then summer break is going to come. So what are the things that I can talk about? What are the communities that I want to be involved in so that I can meet the people who are just like me, who are struggling with the same things, or who, just share my viewpoints? Because the people who follow you on Twitter probably agree with what you have to say. And that's why they follow you, because they want to hear more of that same thing. The people who follow me because I talk about branding, I talk about business, but I also talk a lot about pop culture. So if you're not into pop culture, you're probably not going to follow me because my content's not going to resonate with you. So you have to be very, very, very clear on who's your community, where are they, and how can I get myself in front of them. Okay? So those are my 3 tips. I tried to do it super quick because I can literally be on the scope for hours if you let me. So I hope that was helpful. If you did find it helpful, please give me some hearts. I would greatly appreciate it. Just want to know that it resonated with you guys. And of course, do not be afraid to jump on Twitter. I'll be, like I said, hanging around, checking out the Latina Scopes hashtag. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to, reshare any tools or even just, give my opinion on anything else, I definitely love to help. That's what I'm here for. And if you are in the New York City area or nearby, please join me for the We All Grow Summit in New York City. I'm going to be the keynote and doing a mentor session on November 1st in Brooklyn. So I cannot wait. Oh, yay, Diana. I'm so excited. You guys are not ready. First of all, my outfits for this, it's okay. Listen, fantastic. I think I'm going to hire a photographer just to be my paparazzi. Can't wait. Yes, I'm so excited, Ada. Oh my gosh. Yes, you guys. So if you definitely are in the area, please feel free to join us for We All Grow. I know the early bird tickets were already on sale for $50 and the price has gone up. Ada, can you put the link for We All Grow, please, and how much it is? Because I know a lot of our Periscope friends are definitely going to want to join us. I'll be sharing more tips on building your brand and definitely how to tell your story, right? Because not only do we want to use social media to grow our audience, but to also tell our stories. Bye, nos vemos. So weallgrowsummit.com/NYC. So like I said, if you're in the area, please join us. It's going to be such a good time with Latinas just like me, bloggers, influencers, just all the fabulous people that you can imagine in New York City hanging out for one whole day. Brunch and business and blogs. Who doesn't want that, right? So I'll see you guys there. Thank you so, so, so much. And I will see you guys on Twitter. Latina Scopes. See y'all there. Bye.